Whoa, okay. I don't know if I'm in frame, but hey, okay. Oh my god. The first thing I'm going to do with my stimulus money is buy a camera because I'm filming right now with my phone taped to the wall. So that's interesting. That's a thing that's happening right now. Hey everyone! So today I'm going to be doing an EC and stats video because a few people commented on my UChicago move-in video and also DM me on Instagram to ask me what stats I had that got me into UChicago, and honestly truly I had no idea because I'm a second year now. I'm a second year in the college. I'm studying molecular engineering. So that whole college application process for me happened 3 years ago, but done some digging. I have made notes because I'm forgetful. But yeah, these are the stats that got me into. It's a list. Johns Hopkins, Washington University, UChicago, Tufts, Emory, Brown, Boston, and then 5 schools in the UK, which were Bristol, ICL, Surrey, Sheffield, and UCL. I actually got waitlisted by ICL and UCL, but that's not a deferral, so hey. So the first thing I guess all these videos start with is test scores. So I did both the SAT and the ACT. I did the SAT first and it was not great. I got a 1320 on my SAT. I can't remember the breakdown. And I also did the subject test. I did math 2, chemistry, and physics. For math, I got 620, physics I got 610, and chemistry I also got 610, which are not like outstanding scores, but they do show that you have some grasp of the material. And I also did the ACT afterwards, and on the ACT I got a 34, and I think I got full marks for writing as well. So my advice there is really like do both if you can. Like don't pay to do both, like do a practice test in both of them, because what happened for me is I realized that without even studying for the ACT, my ACT practice test score was higher than my equivalent SAT score. So some people are going to be geared more towards like one style of testing versus the other. So I'd really recommend like instead of just like saying like I'm gonna grind out the SAT and like go 10 points, 10 points, 10 points all the way up to like the high 15s. Maybe see if the ACT is a better exam for you. Because my 34 in the ACT is comparable to a 1550 in the SAT, which is way above my 1320 and way above what I could have personally brought my SAT score up to just by like studying and grinding and doing those like clickbaity things on the internet. So another thing, so a lot of people in these videos talk about AP tests. I'm an international student. I'm from Barbados. I'm actually home right now. So in terms of AP tests, if your school has them, great, fantastic. I think they tell you to do like as many as possible. Do ones that you're interested in, obviously. Don't be like, I will grind out all the things and be like disinterested, because if you're disinterested, you're gonna end up getting a really bad grade just because it's like grindy. But I didn't have APs, so that means I didn't do APs. So if you are an international student and your school doesn't offer APs, don't feel that's putting you at like a huge disadvantage, because the universities, they know which schools have APs. So like when your school sends your transcript or whatever, they're not expecting to see AP scores if your school doesn't do APs. That being said, that makes the rest of your transcript a lot more important, because they don't have these other standardized scores to like judge you on. So besides just getting good scores, make sure that there's like a positive trend in your GPA like throughout high school or throughout secondary school if you're not in the US, because it doesn't matter so much if you have like straight A's across the board, but a university will also be interested in you if, say, like your GPA started at like a 2.5 but you managed to bring it all the way up to a 3.8. Like that's so much more impressive than like, oh, I was at a 4.0 until like my junior year and then I dropped to 2.6, you know? Like, I had the 4.0, but now it's gone, as opposed to, like, I built this thing up and, like, look at how much improvement I can have. So in terms of, like, actual stats that I would have applied with, in the Caribbean, we do CAPE exams. So this is going to be confusing because I know AP goes from 1 to 5, where 5 is the best. CAPE goes from 1 to 7, where 1 is the best. So the grades that I would have applied with were my Unit 1 CAPE grades, and I got a 1 in Communication Studies, a 1 in Pure Math, a 1 in Chemistry, and a 1 in Physics. So those are the grades that they saw, which means that I essentially applied with a 4.0 GPA. Also, before I switch off of academics, this is kind of extracurricular but still academics. If you have the opportunity to do any kind of university level program, like I know here we have the SPICE program, which is run out of University of the West Indies, and it's run by like an MIT professor. There are also online courses that you can do. These all do cost a little bit of money. You can see if they'll do a fee waiver for you. There are some free courses as well, like accreditation courses that you can take online. But I personally, I took my sophomore summer and junior summer to go and do university programs. You don't want to stress yourself over senior summer, you just want to chill. So my sophomore summer, which was 2016, I actually went to UChicago, and I did a course in biotechnology. I ended with a 3.0 GPA, so that goes on to my UChicago transcript. And also in my junior year summer, I did 2 courses at Johns Hopkins. I did a protein engineering course, and I also did a molecular biology course. And I finished out that summer semester also with a 4.0 GPA, which would go on my JHU transcript if I chose to go there. And it actually transfers credits to some other schools, so I would start with a 7 credit lead on everyone else. So these programs, they're really great for building out your academic interests, showing schools that you've really dedicated to them, but also it gives you a chance to look at the school. I wasn't considering UChicago at all before I went for summer, and going for summer really made me see the space. You see so much more than you could ever see on a college tour, because you get to live in the halls, you get to, eat the dining hall food, which kind of sucks, but you get to eat the food. You have the experience of going to classes for 3 or 5 weeks, and it's a really great experience to have if you have the opportunity. Again, there are probably fee waivers somewhere, so I'd advise looking for those, because it can add up. Realistically, it can add up, but the experience that you get from it is so extraordinary that I would recommend doing it anyway. So to wrap up this academic section, just to say your courses, if you have great flexibility in the choices in the courses that you can take, make sure that you're taking courses that show academic rigor, but that also reflect who you are as a person. Don't say all these art classes are easy, so I'm going to take all these art classes to bolster my GPA so that I can go to this really great school, because that doesn't reflect academic rigor. And if you're not interested in art, applying to an art program where that's not a passion that you have, that doesn't tell the university anything about you as a person. So it might be better to say I'll do this really hard STEM class. I did protein engineering over the summer because it just seemed really interesting to me, and luckily I got a good grade. But I think it's more the academic rigor, because that was an undergraduate level class that I took at age 17. So that really made more of a difference than, oh, you got a good grade. Moving on to extracurriculars, I personally hate the way the extracurriculars were formatted in the Common App, just throwing that out there to begin with. But what I did that I would highly recommend everyone does, when there's a section to submit additional information, you can upload a PDF file, format it like a resume or a spreadsheet almost, and put everything you have ever done in there. Don't pay attention to the limits or whatever, because they will open the additional information package. So in this PDF, put everything you've done, right back to, if you went to secondary school, go right back to first form, go right back to class 1. If you're at high school in the US, I think include from 8th grade up. Don't start at 9th grade if you did something super significant in 8th grade. And go right the way up, include everything you ever did. For me personally, I included all of my violin exams, all of my piano exams, all of my ballet exams, the grade, the examining body, and what mark you got. If you got a distinction, if you got a merit, put it on there. Don't worry about the numbers, worry about like the word. And just make sure that it all tells a story. You know, like my extracurriculars were very arts focused and then also volunteer based. So again, like I said, I had music, I had dance, I have some national awards from NIFCA, which is like our Festival of Creative Arts here. I got some dance awards for that, so I put those on there. And then in terms of volunteer work, I was in Key Club for 3 years, and I was the secretary for my last year, and I also got the Distinguished Secretaries Award from the entire Caribbean Atlantic District, so I also put that on there, you know, and I put Key Club separately, so I had Key Club twice. I had Key Club once as just a volunteer, and then another time as secretary, and be detailed in what you did in your leadership roles. Don't just put it on there and expect them to know what it is. In this like additional information package, make sure that you describe why this experience makes you a better fit for them. And then the last thing that I had on there, I worked with the Canadian High Commission of Barbados in their youth program. We were gender champions. We were championing gender equality around the Caribbean region. So that was a huge thing that I was a part of. But the main thing there is making sure that you convey the gravity of what you set out to do in these roles. Like if I just put worked at Canadian High Commission or youth ambassador at Canadian High Commission, it doesn't really tell as much of a story as describing exactly what we did, like what we campaigned for, what we carried out, and like how long you were a part of this thing, you know? So that's what really makes a difference. On the awards section, I know they have a space to put in 5 awards. After you've done this brag sheet or like this extracurricular PDF, it should be really easy to find and fill out like what goes in the extracurricular slot that they provide and what goes in the award section that they provide, because you now have so much to pick from and you know they're going to see everything anyway. So for me, under awards, I put I made like the equivalent of Dean's List at school, like Principal's Honor Roll. I put that I was a prefect for my last year at school, last 2 years. Yeah. So I put that as a prefect, and I put my NIFCA awards on there. And I think I also put down my district secretary award, because that was something that didn't happen on a national level, it happened on a regional level. So that looks slightly more impressive at first glance before they open the sheet and they can read through everything that you did. I am waving this book around. This is all I'm doing. Yeah, so to sum up that extracurricular part, do things you care about. That's really the main thing. They're not looking for people that have like 20 awards and like a various number of things. They really want to see what makes you as a person, not just these are as many things as I could sign up for, so I did all of them and I stretched myself so thin. Like coming down to the end of my high school career, I only danced and did Key Club. That's all I did. But it's because I made such strides in what I was doing and I was so dedicated to those things. That's why it's more appealing to have those like represented on my Common app. So yeah, don't do everything. Do the things that you care about. Do the things that are going to be unique to you and your experience. And yeah, don't overwork yourself. It's not cool to overwork yourself. So that is everything that I can think of to talk about in this video. Let me know if there is anything else that you would like me to talk about. I can talk about the way that I structured my essays for all these schools that I applied to. I don't know what else there's to talk about, but if you have any questions, let me know. And just a reminder, I need my book. These are the scores that got me into, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got me into 7 schools in the US, 3 schools in the UK, and waitlisted by 2 schools in the UK. So again, they were Johns Hopkins, Washington University, UChicago, where I go now, Tufts, Emory, Brown, Boston University, and in the UK, University of Bristol, University of Sheffield, and I got waitlisted by ICL and UCL. So again, I hope this video was helpful, and yeah.